Welcome to Parallel Universe. He had the most famous mustache on American television. The Hawaiian shirts. The laugh that made the whole world feel like everything was going to be fine. For over 5 decades, Tom Selleck was the definition of indestructible, the kind of man who made aging look like a myth that simply did not apply to him. But what is really happening to Tom Selleck right now, behind the gates of his 65-acre ranch, away from the cameras that made him a legend, is a story that will genuinely break your heart. Because the man who once looked like he could live forever is quietly fighting a battle that nobody prepared him for. It started during the final seasons of Blue Bloods, the show he gave 14 years of his life to, the show that CBS canceled in 2024 despite it still being one of the most watched dramas on American television. Reports began emerging from the set that Tom Selleck was struggling. Not the way aging actors sometimes struggle with difficult schedules or long hours. Struggling in a way that alarmed the people around him. Sources told Radar Online that he was in constant pain, arthritis so severe and so debilitating that ordinary scenes had to be filmed using a stunt double. Not action sequences. Ordinary scenes. Getting out of a police car. Walking across a room. The man who had spent 40 years doing his own stunts could no longer get out of a vehicle on camera without doubling his own body. Then came reports of knee surgery, both legs, quietly, without any public announcement. His representatives denied the arthritis reports categorically. But the photographs told a different story. By late 2024, Tom Selleck had visibly lost weight. He looked diminished in a way that alarmed fans who had watched him for decades. An insider told Radar Online that he had let his health slide significantly, that the junk food and the lack of exercise and the stress of fighting CBS over Blue Bloods had all caught up to him simultaneously. And that a man who was always too proud to admit any physical vulnerability had looked in the mirror and privately acknowledged what the world was already seeing. His family intervened. His wife Jilly. His daughter Hannah. The people who love him most sat down with him and told him the truth. And he listened. By January 2026, his 80th birthday, something had shifted. He appeared in his Thousand Oaks neighborhood looking fit, polished, and more like himself than he had in years. He went to dinner at Tuscany Il Ristorante with Jilly and Hannah to celebrate. He was walking hand in hand with his wife on the street outside. He had signed with a major new talent agency and was planning a return to the Jesse Stone television film franchise, the role of a troubled small-town police chief that he had played 9 times before and that fans have been begging him to return to. He told TV Insider simply, "Sometimes the hours are a little harder because I am older. But so what? I want to work as long as they will have me." And yet the financial reality underneath all of this ambition is something Tom Selleck has spoken about with a surprising and disarming honesty. The 65-acre avocado ranch that has been the center of his world since 1988, the ranch that was formerly owned by Dean Martin, the ranch where he plants wildflowers and drives his ATV and makes tea for Jilly every morning before she wakes up, costs a fortune to maintain. Drought destroyed most of the avocado trees and 25 oak trees that had been standing for 100 years. Without steady acting income, he has said plainly, sustaining the ranch would be genuinely difficult. The man who earned $200,000 per episode of Blue Bloods has told journalists, and apparently means it, that he is not financially set for life. He needs to work. Not for vanity. For the land he loves. At 81 years old, Tom Selleck is fighting on multiple fronts simultaneously: his health, his finances, his career, and the quiet daily battle of a man who built everything around a physical presence that age is slowly and relentlessly reclaiming. The tragedy is not that he is old. The tragedy is that a man this extraordinary has to fight this hard just to hold on to the life he built. And that he is doing it, stubbornly, proudly, and entirely on his own terms. That is the most Tom Selleck thing imaginable.